Hi guys, this is my 2017 Suzuki Baleno. It has got a 1.2 liter petrol engine. Yeah, it's a petrol model and it's not the top of the line variant. As you can see, it doesn't have those LED projectors or the alloy wheels. This is the Delta variant, Delta trim, and it makes the most sense for the money. So first of all, talking about the value, I bought this car for around 7 lakhs on road, exactly 6.99 something like that on road. So if you go now in OLX and check it out, you could get one of these for 6 or 5 points, something like that. I just want to say that it has managed to maintain more than 80% of its original value over these 2 years. So which is something good if you are a new buyer or even if you are a used one. So fine. So the design front, yeah, it has got a lot of curves and lines. This is one of the striking design from Maruti Suzuki India. And I mean, you cannot go wrong with this. This car was not designed only for a particular audience, but then everyone likes it. Doesn't have any problem at all. So let's see the engine. Let's have a look at the engine now. Yeah, it's right. So right away, this is a big car with a small engine. I can almost put my hand inside the bonnet and touch the road there. Yeah, but that doesn't mean the performance is so small. We'll get to that shortly. So this is a 1.2 liter engine, petrol engine, that makes up around 84 horsepower and 115 newton meters of torque, and it all makes those numbers in the higher end of the in the high end. So it's a high revving engine. Yeah, I mean, not that level, but then still it's a peppy engine, to be specific. I didn't close. Yeah, I closed it. Let's have a look at the interior now. There you go. So yeah, one second, I'll take the key out. Yeah, so we turned on the car. So like this, you can see the speedo. Yeah, the interior space, it's good actually. I'm not too tall, I'm 5'6", and the under thigh support is really good. I have good headroom, I have good knee room here, and yes, only thing that matters are the switch gear quality. Yeah, most of these switch gears are taken from the first generation Suzuki Swift, which is more than a decade old. And this car, claiming itself to be a premium hatchback, you know, kind of doubt. I mean, makes you doubt. But other than that, all the bits and elements that were designed only for this car are actually top notch. For example, take a look at these front and rear defogger buttons. They are like, you know, the qualities of these buttons are of Volkswagen level, even more than that, to be precise. But all the other stuffs, you know, all the switch gears here, the lock and unlock buttons, all the mirror using buttons, everything is from the first generation Suzuki Swift, which was carried over for more than 10 years. Having said that, one quality issue which I faced was in these AC vents. If you look carefully, you know, these knobs, I mean, these are not even, this is not even, this one is not working. Even, okay, these knobs which are used to adjust the direction of the airflow are broken. No one plays with that. No kids are there in my home, but then it's just broken, and the worst part is that it went inside and got stuck. So it's not making any trouble, it's not making any noise, but then it's just not there. Yeah, so the overall build quality is, you know, good in some places and very bad in some most of the places. So you get some good cup holders, and that's my GoPro bag. The dashboard, yeah, the glove box has good. Okay, I have a bunch of bunches, leave that, don't mind. Yeah, so let's go to the rear space now. Rear seat. Oh, I just stepped on my minion. Leave that. So yes, the front seat is set to my driving position. And why am I wearing chappals? Okay, it's okay. So yeah, the front seat is set to my driving position, and yeah, as I told you, I'm not very tall. I'm 5'7" to be specific. And yeah, there is an ample amount of knee room. Like I can literally stretch my legs almost straight, and headroom is also pretty decent. Even though it does look a bit slopey from outside, it has I mean, the design is very well scooped inside. And one crazy thing you find in this particular car is the inclination of C-pillar. Yeah, if the person, if you are not a trained guy, if you just come into the, if you didn't see the car completely in from the rear end, if you happen to just sit in the car, you will easily mistake this to be a sedan. It's, the toy tray, beat the toy tray or the inclination of C-pillar. That's like crazy level of inclination. And you also have this tiny quarter glass, which makes the cabin feel really airy. And yeah, the window lines are not too high, not too low, just the right size. Everything feels so perfect here. It's really good. But sadly, you don't get the rear AC vents, which you get in all the other Hyundais. But what you get is a 12-volt charging socket. Yeah, you don't get rear AC vents even in the top end variant. That's a bit disappointing. So these are aftermarket covers. So yeah, that's the first thing we do generally when we get a car, right? We'll have a look at the boot space. I just went for a long drive. I didn't clean the car. It's pretty nasty, seriously speaking. Yeah, I have a nice opening tailgate there. Yes, the boot is really boxy. It has, I don't know exactly how many liters. I don't know the specifications. You can just go online and check it out. But it's really boxy in here. And you have these two spaces on the either side where you can fit, I think, two liter bottles. Yeah. I don't know why they have left it, but then it's good. So you have also a full-size spare wheel underneath where I happen to keep my newspapers. Fine. So yeah, I have seen so many people complaining about the loading lip is oh my god, why did you come now? Oh my goodness, freaking out. Okay, so some people complain the loading lip is too high, but then it's actually a good part of the design, because in city or in the long way, if you happen to have an impact from the behind, the bumpers are the first one to take it. So if they are exposed very well, it's gonna be cheaper for you in return to maintain, and even in that case to replace them. So if it's a metal, you have to do a lot of work. So yes, boot space is really awesome. So you cannot go wrong with it. It's almost as big as a compact sedan, to be specific. So how is it like to drive? Yes, it is pretty good. It's not a driver's car like the Volkswagen Polo or the Punto, but then it's a good driving car, I would say, rather. For example, okay, let's get the first question done. How much does it give for the mileage, for the liter? Kitna deti hai? To give you an example, we went for a 500-kilometer trip. It was from Pondicherry to somewhere near Kerala. So we were 4 people on board, and the AC was on. The luggage was full. The car was pretty much fully loaded, and I maintained the speed from 80 kilometers an hour to somewhere between 80 to 100 kilometers an hour, and the car surprisingly returned a mileage of 19 to 20 kilometers per liter, which is pretty amazing for a petrol car of this size, and when it's fully loaded. Yeah, that is good. And regarding the service cost, my service cost, or the general service, I didn't replace any part. I didn't have any accident. Luckily, I did not replace any crucial parts. So the general service costs were from 4.5k to 5.5k. Yeah, 5,700 was the maximum, I think, the recent service. It didn't touch 6,000, I think. Yeah, so that's the maximum you could go with the Suzuki. Whereas if it was a Hyundai or a Ford, it would have easily crossed 7. And if it was a Volkswagen, I don't need to tell you, it's 9-10 is like simple. So very, very normal. My uncle owns a Polo. Since that car is the first car for him, so he is not aware. He thinks it's normal, but then it's not normal at all. Yes, and talking about the ride quality, I would say Suzuki has tuned this suspension right on the sweet spot between, being too soft and being too firm. The suspension is actually on the softer side, I would say, technically on the softer side, but then since the car weighs only, 890 kilograms dry and maybe 950 or hardly 900 kilograms, hardly a ton, when it's fully wet, it's pretty light, and in that case it soaks up the bump very, very well. It's designed exactly for India, and yeah, Suzuki nails in that in suspension tuning. And the chassis, it's based on the YRA platform, which means it has good lateral stability, which actually means when you move left, right and left, and the car kind of stables itself very soon. You don't feel that body roll existing for too long, which is something really good. And yes, it's cheap to run, cheap to maintain. it's a good car. So yes, let's launch this vehicle. Let's put in the first gear, rev the engine and jump the clutch. Whoa, so first gear it does almost 60 kilometers an hour, second gear at 6000 rpm, 90 kilometers an hour, third gear, let's see if it can touch 120. Yes, it did touch 120. That's so cool. Let's brake. Okay, I didn't do very hard braking, but then the braking is not that confidence inspiring. The car started to wave around left and right, and it's not a sporty behavior though. I shouldn't expect that level of behavior from a Suzuki, but then okay, it's much better than the cars which I drove, the previous generation Suzukis. So yes, I'm gonna drive back home now, and meanwhile let me talk about some few additional features that I have added on to this car in specific. So yes, starting with this nice little mobile phone holder. So I got this for around I think 900 bucks from Amazon. It's pretty good. It holds the phone very well. It has good reach and rake, and yes, that's something you will require if you don't have a car infotainment attached, a very modern touchscreen infotainment system like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So that's actually a good alternative though. And one more interesting thing which I added on to my car is this inside rear view mirror. This is not actually the stock. I'll pull over and show you. This is from this is a Nissan sourced unit. I think probably it's found in Nissan Scala or no, I'm sorry, Nissan Sunny, or Nissan and Renault, both are kind of the same now. So yes, so what's so special about this? It has an inbuilt LCD display inside. So if I put on the reverse gear, just like in other, you know, like in Hyundai i20 or whatever other cars, you could see this, but the tracing, I mean the guiding lanes are not dynamic, they're static. So even if I move the steering wheel, they stay in the same place. So yes, but a pretty nice touch. This car has the parking sensors, which is actually more enough. I don't know why, but maybe my dad felt a bit too over conscious about not scratching the bumper off. Still, it's a nice touch, but the problem is this mirror is a tad bigger than the stock one, so it kind of, you know, blocks the view, but it doesn't make any difference once you get used to it. And other aftermarket touches, I added some mood lighting onto the underneath the dashboard, which in the same color as this one, the blue color, which kind of looks good if you open the door in the night with these lights on. It makes your car looks rich, not rich, looks rich, so don't get me wrong. So the final verdict, should you buy a Suzuki Baleno? Yeah, I'm not going to leave you again with so many options. I'll just tell you yes or no. Yes, you can buy. Only thing is, if you are on a budget, if you are not looking for any you know, this quality or other you know, secondary features, all you're looking for is just the primary necessary requirements, like, you know, good engine reliability, good transmission, good space, decent quality, good space, very good space in that sense, and very good in your pocket for, you know, maintaining and running, good efficiency. This is a car you will never go wrong with it. And also, since this, you know, being a Suzuki, it has a very good resale value, as we all know. As I told you, I bought this car in 2017 and now it's 2019. It's almost 2 years old, and the asking price for this car now is around 5.8 or 6 lakhs, which is just 1 lakh less than I bought for 7 on road. So yeah, the car manages to maintain more than 80% of its, you know, original value, which is really good for both type of buyers, be it used or new. So yes, you will never go wrong with the Baleno. You can go for it. I think there is a new facelifted variant now, and even the Toyota is going for the same car with the name Glanza. So again, that's an example. Even a huge company like Toyota is choosing Baleno from the Suzuki lineup for its you know, what do you call that, badge engineered car or whatever it is. So that good, that practical this car is. So you won't go wrong with it. Go for it. If you like this video, give it a like, don't forget to share with your friends and family, and please do subscribe to the channel to witness the next drive from Virtual Drive. Thank you.